Well guys, welcome back to the channel. You're joining me again down Seatown beach in Dorset, and today we have completely different conditions to the last time I fished here. The sea is flat, there's a little bit of a roll coming in, but certainly not a single white horse in sight. Just a little tiny bit of a dump on the beach because we do have quite steep shingle at the edge here, so that's very common on this beach. But yeah, completely different conditions. What am I hoping to catch? Well, I wouldn't mind getting a gurnard. This doesn't look very bassy today. The sea is pretty calm, so I'm not expecting to catch any schoolies. Be nice if there was a bream about, but I don't know how common that is on this beach. And rigs, I've got my last two Shore Hunter clear water bream rigs to use. These are great rigs. I've used them in my last couple of videos and they come highly recommended. So that's what we're going to use. The reason I'm choosing these rigs today was partly, well, gurnard are known to like a red pop-up, and these rigs have got a red pop-up on one of the two snoods. And also they've got fluorocarbon snoods, which is really important when you're fishing in clear water like this. Some species get easily spooked if they can see the line, and fluorocarbon is your best way of overcoming that. So that's the rigs. The bait, I've got some ragworm, which we'll take a look at in a minute. I haven't got a rod in the water, so I'm going to get that set up and then we'll take a look. So the bait for the day, all I've got is ragworm. Look at that, beautiful worm. So I've got loads of these in my Tronics Pro bait pack down here. So in there I've got just over a pound of rag with an ice pack in there to keep it cool. Keeping that down in the shelter out of the sun. And I've just picked out a few in there, you can see, to keep me going for a few casts, so I don't have to keep opening up the coolback to keep them. So I keep them cooler that way rather than letting the warm air in all the time. But look at that beauty. To be honest, that's a little bit big for what I want today, but there's some nice small ones in there as well. I'm going to be putting bunches of these on, those Shore Hunter Clearwater bream rigs that I've got with me, and these will just do me for the next few casts. So let's get baited up. So let's take a look at the first setup, my standard two-piece competition performance. And on this one, I've got my Banzai Tournament Monomag reel from Tronics Pro. And here we have the Shore Hunter Clearwater bream rig with two rag there on the top hook with that orange pop-up and a monster rag there on the bottom hook. So that's all ready to go. I've got a 5-ounce grip lead, and you can see there that the tail of the worm is hanging down, so I'm going to cast this very gently so that tail doesn't fling off mid-air. Same with the top one, we've got a bit of tail hanging down to add a bit of attraction. We'll see if we can pick anything up on this. The other rod's going to be set up in exactly the same way, except I've got my blue 7HT to go on that. So that's the deal. Both rods fishing the same bait, same rigs. Only difference is the reel. So this one's going to go really close in. The other one, I'll try a little further out. So let's get the baits chucked out. Got to be a bit careful because there's a few people around on this beach. Just tighten the reel seat up a little. That's better. Get that nice and tight. Oh, it feels like I've got that twisted on the tip eye. There we go. Check the monomag. That's just off a quarter a turn. That's how I like to start casting, especially when I'm going to be flicking it in close, as I am on this cast. Just have a quick look for swimmers. Nobody near me. That's good. So this is going to go 20, 30 yards, slightly to my left. There we go. So that's in nice and close. Now, some people just walking past said to me, "Did you see the seal?" And apparently, literally just in front of where I'm fishing, 5 minutes ago, a seal popped his head out the water with a fish in his mouth. So the good sign is there was a fish here. The bad sign, the seal. Whenever I have seen a seal when I've been fishing, I have blanked. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case today. I've got a nice long session planned. It's 5 o'clock now. I'm probably going to fish through into darkness, maybe till 10:30, 11. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully that seal will move off, and hopefully we'll pick up a fish. Anyway, I'm going to get the second rod set up. Catch you in a minute. Well, both rods are now out, and the one on the right is further out. The one on the left is my one that I put close in first. The one on the right is probably out about 80 metres. Oh, I don't know why I said metres, I usually do yards. But 80 metres, 80 yards ballpark. And the other one went out about 25. So there we go, they're both out there fishing. We'll see what we can pick up. Hopefully Mr. Gurnard will come along, or Mr. Bream. Garfish wouldn't be too bad. My sister said she might pop down a bit later to do some mackerel fishing. It's 5 o'clock now, so she said she might come down about 7:30 or so, just to have a few chucks around dusk. But anyway, that's it. We're fishing, we're trying to catch something. We'll see how the session plays out today. So time to check the baits on the left-hand rod, the one that's out about 25 yards. Let's see if the baits have survived and whether anything's had it. I can tell you there's no fish on the end. Just coming through that bit of dump at the edge. Just put my leader knot in the right place, loosen that drag off a little bit. Well, that drag's set way too tight. There we go. Right, how are the baits looking? Remember I put a couple of worms on the top hook and a bigger one on the bottom hook. Well, something has munched on the bottom hook. Hopefully not crabs. Look, you can see that. If I can just pick it up. The hook is bare and most of the worm has gone. So I'll get some fresh baits put on here and get it chucked back out. It's probably similar sort of distance because I would like to vary it while I'm learning about a new venue. Well, newish. I fished here a few times, but not very much. So I still don't have the experience of this beach to know where I'm most likely to find the fish. But I am expecting, once it gets a bit dark later on, I reckon there's going to be some pout on the feed down here. But we'll find that out later, won't we? At the moment, we've still got a good couple of hours, well, 3 hours left of daylight. In fact, probably more than that. What is it now, 5? 3.5 hours left before the sun starts to set. So plenty of time to catch us some fish. Let's get some more of these worms on the hook. Right. Oh, there's some massive ones in here. So because I'm going to put quite a big one on the bottom, I'm just going to slide that bait stop so it's well up above the hook. I'm just going to do this without a bait needle, although I probably should get my bait needle really. Just gently slide that on. Once it gets to the eye, get that over. There we go. Slide that nicely up. I'll just leave a tiny bit of tail dangling. And then I'll move that bait stop back down so it just touches the worm. And then at the top hook, let's see what I've got. Another slightly big worm here. So I'm just going to slide that on again, move that bait stop up already. Certainly nice lively worms these. I wasn't told whether they were farmed or dug, but they feel like dug wild worms to me. They've got a nice colour to them, they're lively, fighting back a little bit, and looks like really good quality bait. So that's all rebaited, ready to go out, so I'll get it clipped down and chuck back out that 25 yards or so. So I'm always careful when I'm putting this on the imp to not put the hook through the clip, only through the plastic part, if you see what I mean. So there's the clip, the lead goes on, and the plastic clip for the hook. So I'm making sure that just goes on the plastic clip for the hook. And then the cascade swivel again, I'm making sure it goes through the bit that is designed to hold the hook. I've sometimes found when I've had failure to unclip, it's because I haven't been careful enough doing that and the hook's gone through a bit of the rig that it shouldn't have done. So we get this sent back out. It's actually a really nice day down here. Now this morning it was really sea mist, thick fog at the top of the raining. Not a very nice day to be out at all. But it's really brightened up. So we're just going to chuck this really gently. That's a little, probably more like 35 yards. Did I have a bite? Oh, I've just been told I've had a bite on the other one. That's exciting. There we go, put that one back down. So we'll see if that bite develops. It's handy, isn't it? Got my wife with me. She's watching the rods for me, telling me how to bite. Get that, so I'm happy with it. What sort of bite was it? A big bite or a little bite? A twitch. You guys might have even seen it on camera because I'm recording this. You'll be able to let me know in the comments if it was a bite or not. That's going to get me in trouble, comments like that. Anyway, I'll keep watching it and I'll turn the camera back on if there's a fish there. Well guys, I've left it a little while, so I'm just got distracted by kids in a blow-up kayak getting swamped by a wave. Anyway, the bite, the bite, was it a bite? On the right-hand rod. I'm going to reel that in now and we can take a look. This was the one I put out about 80 metres. Is there any bait left? I haven't seen the rod tip move. Oh, got a bit of weed on the handle. I'll pick that off. Let's see what the bait is like when we get this in. Has it been bitten or hasn't it been bitten? Oh, the lead knot's just coming down the rod. Let's see the moment of truth on that bait. Ooh, well, we've got a bit of a tangle going on. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it does indeed look like something took a bite out of that worm. There's some victorious looks around me. Anyway, we need to get this rebaited, get it sent back out. There's hope. There is hope. Well, we've got a bite. We've got a bite on the right-hand rod. That is the one that's close in. Very gentle little bite, not like the massive bites I got on my last session down here. We'll just keep watching that, but it went a couple of times. Be interesting if I do catch something on this, because all the fish I caught on my last session, well, all two of them, were close in. There it goes, there it goes. Right, let's pick it up, see if there's anything on here. Certainly not an aggressive bite. Can't feel anything, so I'm going to pop it back down. Every chance that fish is still in the vicinity. See if it comes back. Well, that tip moved, but that might have just been the grip edge shifting. Whatever it was certainly a very small bite. Oh, the other one went then. Bites on both rods. One about 80 metres out, one really close in. Both very, very small bites. I'm just going to tighten up the one on the right a little. Oops. There it goes. It's still there. Bite that size does make me wonder if my hooks might be a little bit big. I can't remember what size they were. It was size 1s or 2s on the rigs I got off Wayne. Looked like it was probably a 2 when I baited it up, I think. Oh, there goes the left-hand one again. Sometimes patience can be the order of the day when we get a bite. Okay, so I'm going to reel the right-hand one in. We'll get some fresh bait on it because that fish might have plucked those bits of worm off. I might actually try putting a smaller bait on rather than a couple of worms like I have been doing. I might just put a piece on that big, 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. Because if they are small fish, we might need it to take that hook down a little bit sooner. So let's get that reeled in, see if a smaller bait encourages a bigger bite. So which hook did it go for? Well, both hooks have been attacked there. So that suggests to me there's small fish out there plucking at these baits. Look, nearly all that bait's gone. And the bottom hook is pretty much the same there. Most of the bait been taken. So we get these rebaited and cast back out. So I nearly hooked Jean in the chin then. That would have been a fish, wouldn't it? Whoa. Anyway, fresh bait is needed. I'm going to get one worm and split it between the two hooks. That one's a little bit small to split. So there we go. That worm's about 5 or 6 inches long. I'm just going to break it in half and stick half on each hook. I'll get these old bits of bait off first. Oops, there you go. I've already broke the worm in half accidentally there. So I'll get that bit of tail on the top hook. It's just going to be just about enough to go just over the eye at the top. And then I'll stick the other half of the worm, which is slightly bigger, on the bottom hook. Take that old bait off. I'll sort the position of the bait stops out in a minute. There we go. So that's 2 nice small baits. Bait stop slid down. Because I've not got big baits on it, I'm not even going to bother clipping this up, to be honest. Because I'm only going to chuck it out that 35 yards that I did last time. See if we can get that bite to lead to a hook up. So here we go. Really gentle flick. I'm not even taking my thumb off the spool when I do this because I don't want to get a bird's nest. All right, 30 yards, 40 yards. Plop. There we go. Baits are back in the water. I wasn't watching the other one terribly carefully while I was doing that. So I don't know if the bite's carried on. But there we go. Let's see what happens. Well, it's been about 1 minute since I chucked the one on the right back out, about, what was it, about 30 yards or whatever it was I said. And then the one on the left's gone again, so that bite is still there. If I had to guess at what it might be, I'd say it's probably a little pout like this sort of size. I have caught those down on this beach before, but that has tended to be after dark. Those bites definitely make me think small pouting. It's just a very tiny touch there. There it goes, that was a better bite. That was a better pull down. Gets me more excited when it does that. I am tempted to have a little lift into this in a minute. There it goes. Right, let's see if there's anything on it. This is the one that's out 80 odd metres. 80 yards. Yeah, it feels like there's something on here. Just feels a little bit heavier than normal. Yeah, it's pulling back. It's pulling back now, I'm getting it in closer. There is quite a dump on this beach, so I'm going to have to try and time it through the edge. We don't want it to get off. Here we are, what have we got? Is there anything on there? Oh hey, look at that. What did I say it might be? A pout. Hey. And there we have a pout. A bit bigger than I thought it might have been, but maybe that's why the bite was a bit bigger. So there we go, we're on the fish. Admittedly, a small fish, but it's still welcome on the beach. We'll get this chap unhooked, get him sent back. Let's get the hook out. So there we go, guys. Look at that, beautiful fish. I'll get him sent back to the sea. We're back to pout bites on the right hand rod, the one that's in close. Very gentle little knocks. So I'm going to reel it in a minute and see if those smaller strips of bait have done the trick, or whether all I've done is create empty hooks by not having enough bait on them. You never know which way it's going to go, do you, when you're fishing? But that's part of the fun, because you've got to try different things see what works, learn from the experience, try different things out on the day. Anyway, let's get this one on the right in, see if one of those pout has hooked itself. To be honest, I was expecting the pout to turn up after dark, but they are already here. The big question is it on the end? And I think it might be, you know. Coming near the edge, through that wave. Is it on here? Have we got a little pout? Whoa! When I said small fish plucking at the bait, when I said small fish plucking at the bait, that is probably about what I had in mind. This one's actually foul hooked. Whoa! If I get him on my hand, you can see him. There we go. This one's foul hooked, so I'm going to get this guy unhooked, give him the best chance of living and getting back in the sea. There we are. The hook came out pretty well. Look at that. Not bleeding at all, so hopefully he's got a good chance. I'll get this chap chucked right back. So let's take a look at how I've rebaited this, just like the one I reeled in, with just these small pieces of worm on the hooks, with those pop-ups pushed down so that the stop knot, oops, that one's a little bit high actually now I'm looking at it. We want the stop knot to hold that bead just at the very top of the worm. And adjust the other one as well. Look at me being slack there, not getting them right. So there we go. That's now nicely held in place, and we're going to get this back out that 30 odd yards. Maybe I'll go for a bit further because the tide is starting to drop off. I'm not even going to clip this up, and we're just going for a gentle flick straight out. So that's probably about 45 yards now. Well, just as I was tightening up the line there after casting out, the battery died. At least it didn't die while I was catching that 10-pound bass later on, eh? I can wish in my dreams. But anyway, we're back out fishing, 2 rods out there. Hopefully something other than a pout will come along. But otherwise, I'm quite happy just to catch something. I always think there's an awful lot of benefits to being out on the beach, whether you catch or not, just being out fishing, enjoying the natural environment, getting out in the fresh air. For me, it beats sitting at home any day. So let's see what the rest of the session brings. Well, you've guessed it, left-hand rod, the one that's further out, got a pout bite on it. Not as big as the pout bite for the pout I reeled in that was like that big. More like the size of the pout I reeled in that was that big. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it for a little bit. Jean has just gone off to a barbecue. I say a barbecue, unusually for this beach, there is actually a stand set up down there behind the camera where you can't see, selling presumably hot dogs and burgers. I'm not entirely sure what, but I'm hoping in a minute a hot dog is going to come back this way for me. But with time to look at this bite, hopefully sort out the bait, so I'll keep glancing that way to see if I can see my dinner coming back down the beach. Just keep a little eye on this bite, see if it does it again. Give it a couple of minutes, reel it in, check the bait. These pout are very good at stripping that bait off. But anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll bring you back when I decide to reel it in. Oh, it might be a monster pout, you never know. It might be one like that. Well guys, that bite's had a few more minutes and hasn't come back, so I'm reckoning the bait's been stolen. So we're going to get this reeled in and take a look, see what's going on here. It's well gripped in. Oh, you know what? Maybe there is a fish on here. That is definitely heavier than just the grip lead. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, feels like it's picked up a snag on the way in. That's it, it's moving. It is moving, and there's certainly some weight on there. Look at that. Bit of a bend in the tip. Doesn't feel like it's fighting back. It's kind of an odd weight. Gonna move down a bit closer to the edge. Hopefully I'm still in shot. We're nearly in. What have we got going on here? Oh, there's definitely a fish on there. Not one that would explain why my rod is bending so much. Oh, it looks like I've picked up some old line on the way in. There we go. I'll just get that down here a little bit. Yeah, old line on the... caught on the weight. And I've reeled in someone else's 6-ounce grip lead. So good to get that out to sea. Just lay that fish down on the beach. Pull this up. There we go, free lead. Looks like someone was fishing heavy there. 6-ounce grip, pulley rig. Hook's gone though. Right, let's get this out of the way. And then we'll get that pout unhooked and chuck it back. Tiny little thing. Let's get the hook out. There we go. Fish number 3. They ain't getting much bigger, are they? I'll get this chucked back in the sea. Let's set him free. So I've chucked that pout back, got rebaited, look, little bits of worm. So that's about 2.5 inches, and that seems to be working. Slightly smaller baits at least has picked me up those few fish. So we're going to get this one chucked back out. This is the distance rod. Just get my drop length right, a little bit longer. So I'm not going for a massive distance, just about 80 metres. So when I do that, I'm just laying the lead back at about 2 o'clock and then giving it a whack. If I wanted to get it a lot further, then I'd be tucking the lead more round. Not underneath the rod tip, but more back towards me rather than out behind me. So here we go, let's get this out. Check there's no swimmers. There we go. That's about my 80 metre mark. Oh, I've got slack line on the other one. Right, let's take a look at that. Nothing like a bit of slack line, is there? That's gone well slack. Oh, I don't think there's a fish on the end. Oh, hate missing a slack line bite. Hate it. It always gets my adrenaline going when I get one. So I've missed that by reeling in a pout. But at least that shows me there's something out there capable of moving the lead. This was the one I put at about 45 yards. And what's happened to my bait? Yeah, bottom hook's completely bare, most of the bait gone off the top. So we're going to get this one rebaited, get it back out to that 45 yard mark. And meanwhile, I'll just tighten up the other line a little bit. There we go, that's better. Get a bit of a bend in the rod. My dinner's now making its way back down the beach, woohoo! But I'll get this bait put on, get it chucked back out and tuck in to my dinner. So I've cast back out the one that I missed that slack line bite on. Ah, I hate missing a slack line bite, but look at that. Hot dog has arrived. So I'm going to enjoy this and hope whatever it was that gave me that slack line bite is still swimming around out there, wanting to eat another ragworm. I'm going to watch my rods more carefully while I eat my dinner. So while I was enjoying my dinner, got another pout bite on the left-hand rod. That's the one that's further out. Of course, I left it be while I was eating. I think I've actually got a bit of water down my leg now. I just rinsed my fingers. That's all it is, water. Let's see if the pout's hooked itself. Or whether it's had all the bait, because it was rattling away for a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of weight on here. So I probably got another little fish. Oh, my reel seat slid round. It's better. Have we got a fish? No! Well, you didn't have one. Well, that's weird, because it felt like there was one on there. Bottom hook has been ravaged, though. So, fresh bait time. Oh, there we go. Bottom hook Not a lot of bait left on that. Top one looks pretty much untouched actually. So I'll take these bits of worm off. I've got plenty of bait with me today for the session. So no excuses not to put fresh on. Certainly not this early on in the session. So we get those 2 bits off. Get some more worm put on. So I've just got a few in there. I'll pick one that I think I can break in half. There we go, that one there will do nicely for both hooks. So I do the top hook first. Put half the worm on here. It's trying to bite me. I like it when the ragworm fight back. There we go, it's half on there. I'll sort those bait stops out in a minute before I get it chucked back out. Actually, that half on the bottom hook's a little bit smaller than I would have liked, but it'll do. So slide the bait stop down, do the same on the top hook. Reset the grip lead, and we're good to go. All I've got to do is get that re-clipped up and get it chucked back out and wipe those hands clean. See you in a bit. Well, I just started reeling this in. This is the one that's in close after having some little pout taps on it. But there's actually a bit of weight on here. You might be able to see the tip bending there, look. We're quite close now, and whatever it is definitely having a little kickback. I just got to make sure it doesn't come off in this wave. Keep the line tight. What have we got on here is the question. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! What is it? Spider crab, friendly neighbourhood spider crab. There he is. Oh, that is not what I wanted to catch. The spider crab. I'll get him unhooked and chuck him back. Ah! Spider crab, friendly neighbourhood spider crab. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look above your head. This is well tangled up in my snood. I don't want it to bite through the line. Come here. Come on, mate, I'm trying to let you go. There we go, he's free. I'll get him put back. I just had another bite on the right hand rod, the one that's closer in. Or the one of the ribs from West Bay. Oh, it's the lifeboat. The lifeboat's just come in and doing some twirls in front of the bay at the same time as I get a bite. There we go, pull, pull, pull. Let's see if he's on it. No, not yet. Pop that back down. Just hold that for a second. Might have scared it off, you never know. Might still be there. Well, if it's still there, it's not having a bite now. There goes the lifeboat. I don't know if you can see that in the camera shot. Might be a bit too far out for you guys. Pop that back down anyway. Let's see if I can get that lifeboat on camera. Looks like they might be doing a practice rescue. There's someone floating in the water there. Are they coming to pick them up? Yeah, they're waving for help. I don't know if you can see it because it might be too far away. I can promise you it's only a practice. It's not someone really in trouble. Right, they've slowed right down. They're going to come up beside them, I guess. Try and get that camera a bit more level. Hopefully that's better. Here comes the lifeboat, nice and slow. Up to the pretend casualty. Sorry about my shouter right in the view. And they're going to haul them on board. Let's find out how they do it. Sadly, the boat's going to come between us and the person floating in the sea. Nice to see them out practicing. There we have it. Anyway, back to the fishing. Let's turn you back round this way. I have to get my camera nice and level again. Hopefully that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more that way. So there we are. RNLI done their rescuing. My bite hasn't come back as far as I've seen. So I'll reel that in a minute, put some fresh baits out. Well, after being distracted by the RNLI, we have not one pout, but a double shot. Now that just about counts as a double shot, I think, because that one is very, very small indeed. But I'm going to get these guys unhooked, get them chucked back. So I think we can definitely say it is the day of the pouting. So I've got a nice bite on this rod. This is the one that's in close. See if the fish is on it. There's been a few whitebait jumping out in front of us. Well, this feels like we got a fish. Although there's a massive pull out here at the moment from this dump coming in. So it could easily be that a fish comes off as I'm trying to get it through this swell at the edge. But it definitely feels fishy. Trying real quick while I'm with the wave. Let's see what we've got on here. Could it be a mackerel? Well, it might be. It looked like it might be a conger actually. Let's have a look. What do we have? Yeah, it's a conger. Little strap. Just pick that up carefully. I don't want it going tangling all my rig up. There we go. I bet that's out swimming in close because of all the pout that we've got out here. But we get this guy unhooked, get it chucked back. It looks like it's actually taken both hooks down, so I'm going to get my forceps out and get this guy freed. Beats the pouting, woohoo! Well, I just had another bite on the right hand rod. I've decided now I want to catch myself another little pout because I had that strap conger. Now the best rig I've got with me for sticking out a pout is this up and over rig that I actually made for targeting rays. And the snood is a little bit thin really for targeting congers. It's a 42-pound snood. And to be honest, I'd rather use something heavier, but it's best I've got. And there's a short shank bait hook on the bottom, so again, a little bit small, but hopefully one of those little pout I was catching, one of the smaller ones, I'll go on that hook all right with enough of the point exposed. So now I just need the little pout to put the plan into action. And I'll put a 6-ounce lead on the end of this one, because obviously if you're casting out heavier bait, you want to use that heavier lead to stop it spinning in the cast or wobbling. Oh, now the left-hand one's gone slack, look. So given that's gone a little bit slack, I'm going to check the left-hand one first. See if we can get this pout on here. That just lifted back, something's moved the grip lead a tiny bit. See if we got a fish on here. Right, the leader knot's coming down, so I'm in that dump at the edge, which is the best chance of freedom. What have we got? Oh, well, it's not the little pout I wanted, it's another little strap. Baby one this time. So the congers are definitely on the feed. There we go. Proper little strap, that one. So I'll get this guy unhooked. He's nicely lip hooked. We get him chucked back. I've got my T-bar down here somewhere. So I'll just do this now. Tough as nails, these eels. Oh, it's got a bit of bait elastic caught in it. Right, so get the T-bar. God, I'm making a right cack-handed mess of this, aren't I? Because it's wriggling. These eels do like to spin in their bid for freedom. Right, I've got the hook. Give that a tug. Right, the eel's nicely off, so I can get them chucked back. There we go, 2 straps. There he is. Woohoo, little cutie. I'll get him back in the water. Well, 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 look what turned up. A little pout. I wonder what's going to happen to him. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be pretty. So there we go. That is going to try and catch us a conger, hopefully slightly better than the bigger one of the two that I've already had. So I'm going to only chuck this out about 50 yards because that's where I seem to be picking up those little congers. We'll get this one chucked out. Wish me luck. Well, the pouting's gone on his outing, and now I've got a bite on the left-hand rod that's got the ragworm on it. So let's see if this comes to anything. It's certainly been a very active session, even if the fish have been pretty small for the most part, except for that better conger. Let's see, can we pick another one up? It's been an absolutely gorgeous evening down here. The sun's now gone behind Golden Cap, which is behind me, and is sinking down, but you might still be able to see a little bit on the edge of the cliffs, depending on the angle the camera's at. There we go, there's that bite again. Definitely looks like it could be another pout, perhaps a slightly bigger one. What is the time now? It's 8 o'clock. I've got absolutely loads of bait left. I think I over-prepared for this session, but originally my plan was actually to go bream fishing down Chesil, but it's been a busy day, so I just came down here because it's a bit closer, a bit less driving. Anyway, I'm going to pick up into this rod, see if the pout's on the end. Cool, that's well gripped in. We're now just over an hour after low tide. What do we have is the question. Kicking back, another little pout. One of the better ones we've seen, but still not massive. Pop them up there. So there we go, possibly the biggest one of the evening. But there we are, look at that. Perfect in every way. I'll get this lip hooked pouting back in the water. There we are. It's just a little bit caught there. There we go. Ooh, lively chap. Ready to get him chucked back. On the pout. We've got a bite on the pout. Oh, it's my sister. She came down to do some mackerelling. To be fair to her, I cast out for her. And I crossed my line, and that got my adrenaline going. There we go. Let's put the ratchet back on, loosen the drag back off, pop it back down. Oh. Well, sort of adrenaline never hurt anyone, did it? Well, I've got a bite on the left-hand rod. That's the one with ragworm on, not the pout. The sun's just beginning to go down properly now. So I'll be having to put a headlamp on soon and get a torch on me. It's a bit more difficult recording in the dark, but I'll give it my best shot. Come on, bite. There it goes. Another pout. Right, let's see if it's on there. No, I think I missed this one. It could be very small though. Oh yeah, maybe it is on there. Hopefully I'm not reeling my other line in. Trouble keeping up with the wave. What do we have? We have a pout. What a surprise. Another pout. Too big, this one, for me to want to use it as bait on that other rig. So we just get this guy set free. So I've just had a better bite on the left-hand rod. Hopefully there's still enough light for this to come out all right. It's now 9:15, so I believe the sun has actually set. I'm not quite sure what time sunset is, but that was a much better pull down. Just hope it comes back. Just going to tighten the line up a touch. Just better. So the left-hand one's one of the ones with ragworm on. Well, the one with ragworm on. The one on the right's got the pout on it. There we go, there's the bite on the left. Quite a bit smaller than the bite I just had before I turned the camera on. There it goes. Right, let's see if it's on there. Let's see. Well, still reel it in, I'll get some fresh baits put on and then I shall whack it back out before I find my headlamp in my box ready for when the darkness sets in. Oh, it might be on here, you know, it might have been playing dead. Look at that, look at that. Just coming through the edge, through the washing machine. What have we got? We have got a fish. It was playing dead. It's another pout. There we go. There we have it. I'll get this chap put back. Well, rather unexpectedly, as we are in the end of dusk, the bites have dried up. So I'm going to reel in the one with the ragworm on, check there's still some bait on there, and then get it chucked back out. The pout I chucked out hasn't seen any action. And I know there's spider crabs out there because we caught one earlier, Mr. Friendly Spider Crab. So I'm going to get this in. If I catch another little pout, I will reel in the pout that's already out there and give it a change over. Check it's all still all right. But yeah, it's a bit odd. I was definitely expecting things to liven up when darkness fell. So fishing can always take you by surprise. I was expecting the pout to be feeding after dark. Well, we actually got one on here, not before. But there we go, they are still out there. That must have just been sitting there quietly. I think that's the biggest one of the night, the day so far. Biggest one of the session, I suppose I should say. Get this chap unhooked. There we go, hook's already out. Turn my headlamp off. There we go. Oh, my glasses are falling down. So lovely little pouting. I'll get this chap chucked back. Well, I literally just cast my ragworm out, sat down on my box, and the rod tip's pulling over. So I just tightened up the line a bit there because it had gone a tiny bit slack. We'll see if this pout takes it down. It's getting a tad chilly now, so I've got my hood up. Well, it was still there. That was a little tiny knock. Nothing like the one I had just now before I managed to get the camera on. Hopefully you can see the rod's all right. Oh, there we go, look. That was definitely a better bite. Hopefully you can see the rod's all right with this light shined on them. If that goes again, I'll pick it up, reel it in. There we go, still there. Right, I just put my headlamp on. Oh, I've already got my headlamp on. Sorry if I've been blinding you with my headlamp. Right. There we go, keep the line tight. Don't want to give the hook a chance to come out, do we? Definitely on here. Might even have a double shot, you know. That's just coming up through the edge. What do we have? They are starting to get bigger. I'm blinding myself with the light on that's on the camera. But there we go, another little pout. Taking that hook down. Yeah. I'll get my forceps, get that little chap unhooked. But there we go, we're on the pout. Well, what can I say? Since darkness has properly set in, I've managed to keep my baits in the water at most a minute, and I'm reeling in double shots of pout. So I'm going to call these my last casts. The right hand one still got that pout on I chucked out earlier to see if anything would take it, and nothing has. And the other one's got my ragworm on, so this is going to be my last chuck. So if you've enjoyed this video, I hope you click the like button, and thanks ever so much for watching, guys. So this has been Seatown Beach in Dorset, and it's time for me to head home. See you next time.